Good morning. It's Monday, February 13th, 2023. Almost said 2022. It's 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang's 3 basic methods. We have coiling snake, creeping snake, and dragon step. Each of these methods has combination of movement and internal workmanship that is part of all of the things that I do. So it's basic methods. All right, let's get started. Feet about shoulder width apart. Wiggle the toes. Wiggle the fingers. Open the arms. Hands circle to the front. Back around to both sides. Up along the center line. Reach out over the legs. Bend the knees. One more time. And let's go inward. Keep going. Roll down. And reach out. And again. Arch through the back as you come up. Use the legs. Take the weight through your legs, not through your back. And hands return to your sides. All right. On the floor, leg stretch. A lot of what we're doing with these basic methods, fingertips to the inside, press down gently. Gently. Okay? You want to lean forward. Keep your back flat, so your back stays straight. So if you're sitting up here, that's it. Your knees are here. Yeah? This, right? Back stays straight. Lean forward and press down gently. And then continue pressing down and sit up. Just roll through the hip. This is for the hip, not for the legs. Okay? Open the hip. One more time. All right, and both feet to the front. Do not pull to the sides, straight over the toes. Bend the knees. Grab your feet. Okay? You want all your toes, not just one of them, all of them. Grab your feet. Pull yourself forward. Drop your elbows, pull yourself forward. And stretch your legs. You should feel it in the hip. Bend the knees again. Pull your feet back. Sit up. Chest to your thighs. Okay? So this is flat. It's not lean in here. This is flat. So you want that space between the top of your leg and the top of your hip. There isn't any space there. That's what goes here. So the hip to the thigh, the chest to the knees, right? My knees are bent, so I can do this. I bend my knees further, I can pull myself to my knees. That is the same idea here, except it's harder to do. Reach up and over. All right? And notice that I'm not trying to pull this. I'm pulling to myself, to me. Elbows in. You don't want to stretch your feet to some odd position. That's the point. Okay? Legs straight. One more time. Felt that one. One more time. And again. All right. Yeah, we're doing this one. Okay, I'm on my left knee, right leg to the front, flex the foot, and reach out over it. You feel it all along the back of the leg, and you should feel it. I'm balancing, okay? You should feel it in the hip on the supporting leg and through the center, through the torso, okay? A lot of hold is required through the gluteals, okay? You have to hold. And we'll back up. And again, one more time. All right, use the hands. Drop down, bend the knee. Knee to your shoulder. Knee sits right in here in your shoulder. Roll forward just a little bit and then straighten the leg. Yeah. A little bit forward. Straighten the leg. Keep, one more time. Keep the knee to the shoulder. Straighten the leg. All right, and relax. Straighten. Stay there. Find the hold through the center of the back. Find where you have to hold. Stay there. All right, and change legs. Yeah, I am going to use my hand on that one. Yeah, this, okay. There we go. No, that was it. Find your balance. Find your placement over that sustaining leg. Flex the foot. It's really not easy to do this, okay? And lean forward. Keep the foot flexed. Stretch through the back of the leg. And again, pull up through the center as you stretch forward. And again, don't put your hands down this time. It's harder to do. It is. One more time. Flex the foot, no hands. Lean forward. And come on back up. This time use the hands. Knee to the shoulder. Lean forward. And straighten the leg. And relax it. Keep your chest flat against your leg. Okay? So this is flat. Not curved. You want your back as flat as possible. Okay? Lean forward. Shift back. Straighten the leg. And again, knee into the shoulder. Rest your shoulder on your knee. Now, straighten the leg. Keep the shoulder. And relax. One more time. And come on up. Straighten the leg. And nose to the toes. No hands. Hold through the back. One more time. And come on up. All right, relax. It's not an easy stretch, okay? It's not. And it's something that you can do as a beginner to get your body into condition. It's something you can do as a more advanced practitioner to further develop your body condition. Right? That conditioning, that ability to stretch and use the muscles that we have is part of what we do in all of our fundamental, all of our foundation work. It's learn what I've got. How can I use it? What can I do with it? Right? This stretch that we just did, okay, is a combination of what I've learned from my own training in dance and in the martial arts. That ability to find and work with particular muscles, so that we're doing that muscle groups, I should say, so that we're doing particular things with them, is what we're doing in all of our training. That's the foundation for everything. All right, why warm up? Why bother? Well, for me, I don't want to hurt myself. Okay, that process of warming up, of, you know, I'm going to stretch a little bit, I'm going to do some fun, I'm going to do some little basic things, not real hard, not too much, just a little bit, to get my body working, get everything going, and then I'm going to build up to doing more. As I put myself through that process, I develop greater flexibility, I develop the foundations for everything else. I mean, it sounds, well, you know, I'm, 20-something, I don't need to warm up so much. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Those warm-ups give us an advantage in all of the things that we're doing. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, and then we're going to do some things. The idea that I'm going to, in a self-defense situation, tell the person that's attacking me, wait a minute, I need to warm up. Please. All right? We're not in that situation right now. Okay? We're not. And the development of skills that we want to be able to bring to a situation where we need them is what we're doing right now. All right, dragon step, feet about shoulder width apart. I'm going to start to the right side, right hand circle to the front, left hand to the back, right hand out, left hand down. Take it easy. We're going back the other way again. We want this punch straight, not so much up. You could, but, and it would work really well actually, because if this arrives first, the person either goes away or collapses. Opportunity, opportunity. Straight. Left side, feet about shoulder width apart. Left hand front, right hand back. Circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Keep the weight. I'm going to say this again. We're going to do it one more time. Keep the weight to the back. Don't carry to the front. The completion of the movement is with the weight to the back. Then we move forward. Okay, so here. More of my weight still on the back leg, and then transition as I come out on the other side. Okay. Pay attention to where your torso, where your center is, so that if you carry your center forward here, you won't be able to keep your weight back. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. To the right. Right side. Keep the weight back. Hold through the hips in the front. And hold across here. One more time to the left. All right, relax. It takes a bit of work to do this. It does. The turning through the waist gives us a little bit more dynamic than if we're just standing here to go straight, right? Turn. That turning is part of the internal workmanship that we want. So we have the waist here. The lower Tantian does a lot of work in all of the Wudang arts that I've learned. Right? So the waist drives, but the energy and the effort come from the lower Tantian. This swimming fish, the yin-yang fish, as Professor Liu called it, that effort to turn the ball, and it's two that never separate. So we have different directions that are possible. It's not just one direction, it's two. That combination is one of the things that we want to pay attention to in Dragon Step. But fundamentals, this is fundamental. That idea that fundamentals are stand here, take one step, take another step, put this foot back, that's important. We have to know that. We have to be able to do that. In Dragon Step, I have to know this foot's coming up, I'm going to put it down at an angle, and I need to be able to bend through the knee so that I can bring the other foot through. I have to know that. More than that, I have to be able to use my internal energy. This is an internal art. It's not confined. It's not, the foundation is not how fast, how strong, how much muscle can I use to do this movement. There's part of it that has to be there. This is what we're working with. If it's not strong, if your body's not strong enough, you can't do it, all right? Yeah, you have to do that. That's not enough. That's only the surface. There's more. As we turn, right here, this side of my hip sets, and I'm exaggerating it so you can see it. As I turn here, the other hand, right? This goes this way. This follows through. Turn, turn, internally. Twist, and twist. This one goes this way, and this one goes this way. Feet back, shoulder width apart. Gently. Pay attention to the direction. Pay attention to what you're doing physically. Pay attention to what you're doing internally. Turn. Down. And around. Again. 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 Other side. Yeah, other side. And go. Twist. And down. This twist one. This twist two. I'm going to turn around and do this. I'm exaggerating this. This twist and this one. Both together. And the foot goes with. Okay? So this here and here. That combination of change and direction. Right? We're not thinking about this goes this way, goes this way. No. Why? Why not? Why would I not do that? Why would I think about where's this fist going to go? I'm pointing it this way, comes around, hold here, could go this way. Why not? Yes, this would be me waiting for students to answer the question, but yeah, we're not. So, because in what I'm doing, I'm going this way. I'm not dividing my effort. My force, my strength, everything is directed here. It's not here, maybe over here. Let's go this way. I mean, there is a legitimate application to this. But yeah, it's iffy, and it's maybe more TV than it is anything else. This one works. We actually use this in blah blah. There are, but separating. Why do I want to take force this way and this way? And I'm traveling this way. What am I going to do over here? The principle behind what am I doing with my energy? What am I doing with my physical movement? What is the potential for application in this movement? I rarely am going to go in two separate directions this way. I might separate here. But that I would try and strike here and here, I have trouble with that. I do. Particularly right here. Here's what my fist is doing. That circle. That makes sense. That doesn't. If we analyze what we're doing in the movement, and then we look for the principle behind what we're doing, we get the answer that makes the most sense in terms of the art that we're practicing. Okay. Can I do it some other way? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can do it a couple of different ways. Which one is correct? And how do I find that for myself? Well, but Terry said that it was this, so I'm going to do what Terry said. But this other person over here said it was this other thing, so I'm going to do what this other person said. Because this other person has got, well, I like this other person better. So, I'm not going to listen to her. Okay. That's fine. Does whatever the other person is saying have a consistent foundation in the art that you're practicing? If it does, great. Don't listen to me. Go listen to the other person. If it doesn't, you ask that question. Because each teacher me included, has their own skills, their own background, their own abilities, and their own body of knowledge. I've learned a lot in my 40 years. I have. I studied in China. I read books in Mandarin China, in the Gentizi, the simplified characters I can read. I've translated. I'm familiar with more concepts than probably a lot of average folks. I really have spent a lot of time studying. But that's limited. It is. I'm one person. No matter how many books I've read, no matter how many books I've written, because there's a couple of things that I have written, and there's teachers that have written hundreds of books. They've spent years. Professor Liu's written hundreds of books, right? They've spent years writing and sharing their knowledge. It's one person. And we take that and we use that body of knowledge. I looked at what Professor Liu's written, and I use that for myself. That's part of what I have learned. What did you learn? You didn't study with Professor Liu because you weren't there. I was there, you weren't. Right? Maybe you studied with somebody else. I wasn't there and you were. Alright. What I took away from my studies, what you take away from your studies, whatever that may be, is and becomes part of who you are. One person. It's one person. So if I only ever listen to what Professor Liu said, what Huang Wenlin said, what Johnny Lee said, if I only ever listen to what they said, and I don't try to see for myself, what is this art? Let me understand what I'm doing. If I don't take that step to go beyond what they've told me and develop and cultivate that art for myself, I'm just doing whatever I was told. Now, that bring it in, cultivate it for yourself. How do we ask those questions? What do we look for? Well, we have to have listened to a teacher at some point. Maybe not the teachers that I had. Right? I had different teachers. Teacher said, do this, pay attention to that. Right? Does what you have from that instruction match up with what you're doing in the movement? Does it make sense? Does it have a foundation in fundamental physics? Can we use that movement? Is there an application that goes with? Because my teaching, everything that I've learned, says, yes, there needs to be an application that goes with. Otherwise, we're doing something else. It's not a martial art. It's something else. Qigong gives us foundations for martial art. There's other Qigong. I'm speaking specifically, I should qualify that. Wudang Qigong gives us foundations for all of the Wudang arts. There are other forms of Qigong. Sitting Qigong, where you're not doing a physical movement, you just sit there. Mental exercise. Mindfulness exercise. These are good things. This is not bad. This is something that we do actively in all of our practice. How do we use that? How do we apply it? What are the foundations for movement? this circle. If I pay attention to the idea that this should be a circle, where does my fist have to go? I'm going to circle. Clockwise circle, right? If I'm making a clockwise circle, where does my fist have to go? There is no option, right? So if I take the principle and say, this is a circle, and on this side, it's clockwise. Gives me my particulars for when and how to move. If I want to extend my force, I'm not going to use the most force here, I'm going to use it here. Alright? As the fist comes out, I'm going to do this hard in a minute. Alright, as this comes out, circle, 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 out. Waist, lower dantian. I'm not paying attention to this hand right now, just this one. Circle, 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 out. Pay attention to lower dantian. The waist, drop the heel, bend the knees. Circle, 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 out. Drop the heel, bend the knees, circle, and out. Pay attention to lower dantian. Again. 2 more. Lower dantian. Now. Oh. Where did that come from? It came from here. Lower dantian. But you didn't do the big circle. No, I didn't. I did the circle. And it's right there. That difference, internal, external. The other side, left side, big circle, extend out. Big circle, extend out, right? Counterclockwise. Right? That connection through the waist, in through the lower dantian, circle, outward. The hips are engaged, yes they are. Circle, stop the hip, internal only. Lower dantian, pay attention. One more time. Yeah. My left hand is not as strong as my right hand. I'm right-handed. Right? Doesn't mean that there's not something there when this comes out. That's the point. This. Which direction am I going? Where is the internal connection? In this case, the waist and lower dantian. Where is that internal connection? How does it work? How does it work? This is the physics behind it, right? If I want to extend this hand here, this has to come together. If it doesn't, that ain't going to happen, right? That timing and coordination is something that we have to develop. It's not me standing here telling you that this is what's required and you all of a sudden, okay, I can do that now. No. It takes practice. And it takes more than the physical will to do the movement. You actually have to step back to do this correctly, my terms of doing it correctly. You have to step back and be able to use the lower dantian, that twisting and turning, to generate the impetus for the movement. That's where it comes from. It doesn't come from this hand out here. This isn't it. It's not out here. This doesn't have much of anything unless I've got it connected. That connection is what we want to pay attention to, and it is fundamental for all of the internal arts. We pay great attention to what's going on inside. That idea in Tai Chi of Wudang, that expressing the energy, that's not exclusive to Tai Chi. It's not. We hear about it. People talk about it. It's where I first learned it. What was this Wudang thing? Oh, Wudang, send out the energy. Oh, it's a Tai Chi thing. No, it's not. That energy is pervasive in all of the arts, and we want to be able to work with it. We want to be able to use it. Being able to use it, pulling in, drawing in, developing that center, cultivating the energy in the lower dantian, and then being able to use it and express it as we choose. That's the foundation for all of the other things that we do. Okay? So this is a little bit more than just that basic, okay, here's some footwork, we're going to do this movement, we're going to do that movement. This type of foundation work is more advanced than just here's where your feet go. Right? It is more advanced, and it is also basic. And I know that maybe sounds like a contradiction, but we work on all of the physical movements to get to the point that we can start to work with the internal energy. And then we start, and then we begin again. Feet about gently, not too hard. Pay attention to these circles. Pay attention to where the waist turns. Pay attention to the timing. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Right hand to the front. Pay attention to the lower dantian and extend. Keep the weight back. Lower dantian. Turn around. Go back to the other side. Left side first. All right. That twist and turn. Again, this idea that there's an application. As I move, right? Here. Foot goes to, split, this, no, come here, split. The particular movement, what I might do in this situation, that situation, others, you know, all that. No. The dynamic of the movement is what I'm paying attention to right now, with the idea that there is an opportunity here. There is an opportunity here. There is an opportunity. I want to be able to take advantage of any of those opportunities at will. I don't want to be narrowly focused on this one thing. So how do I do that? So I pay attention to the dynamic of the movement. What do I need to do physically in this movement to bring my physical force, my physical effort, and my internal effort all together at the same time. My intent, what do I intend to do? I intend to do the movements as fully and completely as I possibly can. That's my intent. That's my intent. That's fully and completely as I possibly can. That's my intent. I'm not thinking I'm going to hit this guy in the jewels. I'm not thinking I'm going to do an uppercut to the chin. I'm not thinking about any of that, because that restricts me, that limits me to this one scenario. And these forms are not limited to this one thing. I've got a whole list of things that I could do. What am I going to do right now? Pay attention to doing the movement as completely and fully as I possibly can. Right? A little extra. Sorry. That, here it is. We don't stop. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4. We do that as we're learning, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. At some point, we have to make that smoother. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it needs to become 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1. That coordination, timing, placement, idea behind that this has got something, there is an application that goes with, that this is not empty, that it's not just dancing away, there's something here. That substance matters. As we practice, we want to focus on the small movements, the simple movements, as we bring together all of these other elements. The movements over here. This is the rest of what we need to pay attention to. All of this over here. I hope that this class has been informative. I'm going to be back tomorrow, and I'll use either creeping snake or coiling snake as the example. We're going to continue this idea of paying attention to the internal workmanship and what's going on inside. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.